When Emeka woke up in the morning, he expected relief, but his nightmare had just begun. His manhood was still as hard as stone, and the pain was unbearable. The night before, he only wanted to prove himself, but now he faced a crisis no man would ever want to imagine. Emeka was the kind of man who carried his pride on his shoulders. In his small village of Umuaka, he was known for his charm and confidence. But behind closed doors, Emeka was haunted by a secret. He couldn't last in bed. His wife, Ada, was kind and understanding, but her silence only made him feel worse. The whispers he imagined from his friends and the thought that Ada might complain to someone else kept him up at night. He couldn't let this continue. He needed a solution. One evening, while drinking palm wine with his friend Chijioke at the local joint, Emeka hesitated but finally confessed his struggle. Chijioke, always quick with advice, leaned in close and whispered, "There's a man in the next village, No Okoro. He makes a special herbal aphrodisiac. One dose, and you perform like a lion." Desperate, Emeka decided to visit No Okoro. The old herbalist lived deep in the forest, in a hut surrounded by strange carvings and the smell of burning herbs. No Okoro's eyes gleamed with mischief as he handed Emeka a small bottle filled with a dark liquid. "Drink this an hour before you go to bed," the old man said. "But be warned, don't take too much." Emeka barely listened. All he wanted was to prove himself. That night, he downed the entire bottle, ignoring the instructions. At first, it worked like magic. For the first time in years, Emeka felt powerful, confident, and in control. Ada was shocked and pleased, but as the night wore on, things took a strange turn. Even after hours, Emeka's manhood refused to go back to normal. He began to feel a sharp pain, but he told himself it would pass. By morning, the pain was unbearable. His manhood was still as stiff as it had been the night before. Ada, concerned, begged him to see a doctor, but Emeka refused. How could he explain this to anyone? He decided to go back to No Okoro. The journey through the forest felt longer than usual. When Emeka arrived, No Okoro's expression turned grave. "You drank the whole bottle?" the herbalist asked, shaking his head. "This is bad. Very bad." No Okoro explained that the herbs in the potion were powerful but dangerous if misused. He handed Emeka another concoction and told him to drink it immediately. Emeka did as he was told, but nothing changed. His condition remained the same. Word spread quickly in the village. At first, the men laughed behind Emeka's back. But as days turned into weeks, they realized the seriousness of his situation. Emeka couldn't sit, sleep, or walk comfortably. Ada became more and more worried, especially as Emeka grew weaker from the constant pain and embarrassment. The village elders called a meeting. They decided that this problem was beyond No Okoro and suggested consulting the famous healer, Ezigu, who lived on the other side of the river. Ezigu was known for solving impossible cases, but his methods were not always straightforward. When Emeka arrived at Ezigu's shrine, the healer stared at him for a long time before speaking. "You have tampered with nature," Ezigu said. "To fix this, you must perform 3 tasks. Only then will the curse be lifted." Emeka had no choice but to agree. The first task was to retrieve a rare herb that grew only on the cliffs of Ojoku Mountain. The journey was treacherous, but with Ada's encouragement, Emeka managed to find the herb and bring it back. The second task was even stranger. Ezigu demanded that Emeka confess his deepest secrets to the entire village. It was humiliating, but Emeka stood in the village square and told everyone what had happened. To his surprise, some villagers sympathized with him, while others scolded him for his recklessness. The final task was the most difficult. Ezigu told Emeka he needed to spend an entire night in the sacred forest, alone and without any weapons. The forest was known to be haunted, and many who entered never returned. Emeka was terrified, but he knew he had no choice. That night, as he sat in the darkness, Emeka heard strange noises, whispers, footsteps, and the rustling of leaves. Shadows danced in the moonlight, and his mind played tricks on him. At one point, he felt a cold hand brush against his shoulder. Emeka closed his eyes and prayed, clutching a small charm Izigu had given him. Hours felt like days, but Emeka refused to run. When dawn broke, he emerged from the forest, exhausted but alive. Izigu smiled when he saw Emeka. "You have proven your strength and humility," the healer said. He prepared a final potion and instructed Emeka to drink it. Within minutes, Emeka felt the tension and pain leave his body. For the first time in weeks, he was free. Emeka returned to the village a changed man. He had learned the hard way that shortcuts often lead to bigger problems. He apologized to Ada and promised to focus on their relationship instead of his pride. From that day on, Emeka became a wiser and humbler man. His story served as a warning to others in the village, and the legend of the night that never ended was told for generations.